everybody, my name is Benjerizer and welcome back to my channel. Guys, today we will be reviewing Thor Love and Thunder and Ms. Marvel. Let's go! So, I had a really good time with Thor Love and Thunder. It wasn't as good as Ragnarok, but was still really enjoyable. I thought that Thor was great as usual, well, at least ever since Dark World, and was pretty funny, and Jane was really good as Mighty Thor. I thought that was great. Natalie Portman did a great job as the character like normal. Korg was great, truly one of the funnier characters in the MCU, and Valkyrie was good too. Really my main problem with the movie was that it tried to be too funny when it needed to be more serious. I mean, the villain was kidnapping kids and killing gods with an army of shadows, and that sounds pretty creepy, yet the humor kind of ruined that sense. At least just in my opinion. Also, they made Thor a bit overly dumb in some scenes. Just because it was overly humorous, though, doesn't mean that the jokes were all bad. When it's funny, it's pretty funny. When it's not, it's kind of cringy, I gotta say. They aren't painfully bad, just not as good as the jokes in some of the previous, just MCU movies in general. I personally thought that Gore, the God Butcherer, was really the standout character in this film, though, mainly for reasons that go into spoiler territory. Speaking of which, warning, spoilers will be talked about, so skip to here, the time on the screen to avoid them. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Gore really has one of the best villain backstories in the entire MCU, as far as I'm concerned. You can really feel the struggle of his past, and the scene of him losing his daughter and then being denied help from the gods was truly heartbreaking. Also, is it me, or does it look like the gods are bleeding out honey? I just thought that was really weird, just kind of wanted to point that out. Anyways, Jane's sacrifice was really good and kind of hit me in the feels. I'm glad they didn't do a fake out or have like Gore wish for her to be cured of cancer, because that would have kind of felt a bit cheap and kind of would have like ruined the ending, at least for me. Also, I kind of wish that the audience finding out she had cancer came a little bit later in the movie. It would have added the mystery of what she's actually hiding to the mix, making the reveal more impactful, even though I feel like it was set up pretty well, so I'm kind of mixed on that. Also, Thor sending a freaking lightning bolt into Zeus's chest was super far-fetched and amazingly nuts at the same time. Just something I kind of, wanted to point out. Anyways, Thor finding his new place in the world by becoming an uncle / like father figure was pretty sweet. Although Jane's death wasn't as impactful as it should have been, because both Korg and Valkyrie almost died, but both lived, and she even kind of lived in the end credits scene. I just wish that this movie wasn't called Thor Love and Thunder and was called something like The Hero of Asgard, the woman they call Jane. That was a Firefly joke for those of you who don't know. Go watch the show, it's a lot better than this movie. In conclusion, if you like Thor, you'll probably like this movie. I give it a 6 out of 10. Not as good as Ragnarok, but still pretty decent. My second favorite Thor movie. Ms. Marvel is a pretty interesting show. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. I loved episodes 1, 2, and even 3, but it kind of started to lose me halfway through episode 4. I thought that Kamala was an all-around amazing protagonist. She was very charming and just a ton of fun, and Bruno was also great. He was a great friend throughout the whole show and just made me smile whenever he was there. Something kind of lacking in episodes 4 and 5. I can't really talk about much of this show without going into spoilers, so skip here on the time on the screen to avoid them. And let's go. A lot of people were having problems with the powers they gave Ms. Marvel in this series, mainly because they're not comic accurate. That really doesn't bother me all that much, just because I don't read the comics and really don't care as much. I'm pretty sure they're saving those powers for the Fantastic Four movie. Anyways, episode 1 sets up the rest of the series really, really well and did a great job of, introducing us to the characters. I actually really like the whole AvengerCon thing. It feels like something that would definitely happen in real life after the Avengers saved New York and stuff for like the 50th time. And then episode 2 is probably my favorite just because it was the most fun and lighthearted. It shows Kamala learning how to control and use her powers. Of course, with help from Bruno. Probably my favorite character in the whole series. Shh, don't tell darling buddy. The climax was where Kamala had to save the kid from the roof of the building and then gets chased by damage control. And that was pretty intense and good too. Then in episode 3, we got introduced to the main villains of the series, the clandestines. I mean, I didn't rewatch the show again before writing this review, so if I'm saying the wrong thing in this, it's not my fault. And I say main villains in air quotes, because that's one of my main problems with this show, because like they have an impact on the story but aren't even in the final battle, so it just makes them feel kind of pointless. They're kind of like a race of jinn that are trying to get back to their home and have been on Earth for hundreds of years, and apparently the key to getting back is the bangle Kamala gets her powers from, which was from her grandma, which was from her great grandma. Yeah, this gets really, really confusing. And then, like, they're friendly at first, but then turn on Kamala and invade her brother's wedding. And that whole scene is pretty awesome. Really a highlight of the show for me. But then the show did the unthinkable. They hurt Bruno. He gets hit with a chair, I think, and hurts himself. Anyways, Bruno and Kamala escape, but I've now ruined her brother's weddings by pulling the fire alarm. So that's just great. And then at the end of the episode, Kamala sees a train after like doing something with the, like I said, I don't really remember all this that well. But like she sees a train and so does her grandma. And so her and her mom go visit her. And this is kind of where the show lost me a bit, mainly because like, yeah, they travel to Pakistan and that's all great. But then they really start like going deep into the past of Kamala's family. And while that's interesting, it's not the best part. So like basically after some heart-to-heart moments with her grandma, Kamala gets like seen by the Red Daggers, which is a group that's like against the clandestines. And I really can't remember the names of the two members, so we'll just call them Dagger 1 and Dagger 2. So after a few minutes of explaining things to Kamala, the clandestines reveal that they followed Kamala and her mom to Pakistan, and they invade the base and eventually kill Dagger 1. Rest in peace, Dagger 1. You will maybe be missed. I don't know. They're probably never going to bring you up again. And then like one of the members like pierces Kamala's bangle and it turns it into like a memory thing. And the entire next episode is about Aisha, Kamala's great grandmother. It tells the story of like everything that happened all those years ago, and that like and that Kamala was actually part of the reason why everything has happened this way. And then, yeah, basically, she helps her grandmother get to the train, and then we're back in the present day, and Kamala accidentally opened a portal that kills, the clandestine people, but then, yeah, this is like the most confusing part of the show. I swear the finale is this confusing. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, so basically, clandestines go into the portal and die, but then the leader of them gives her son powers, which, by the way, I have failed to mention throughout this whole review. His name is Kamran, and he's pretty cool, except that, and he's like friends with Kamala. Episode 6 really brought me back to liking the show. It was a pretty solid conclusion to a pretty good series where lots of plot points came together nicely, and Kamala figuring out her name from what her dad said was sweet, kind of corny, but sweet. In conclusion, Miss Marvel was pretty good. I enjoyed all of the episodes for the most part, but was kind of disappointed with episodes 4 and 5. They weren't terrible. Like, I could sit through them and watch them. It's just like, they're the least memorable and just didn't really make that big of an impact, at least in my opinion. And then episodes 1 and 2 were super fun, and 3 was good too. I especially love episode 2, just like the way everything started to happen, and it was just really charming. I don't really know, I just kind of really like it. And I thought 6 wrapped up the story as well. The main problem with the show though was the villains, because while they were okay, screen time wasn't given to make each of them memorable, and so like I just kind of have mixed feelings about that. But really, all in all, I would give it a 7 out of 10. One of the better Marvel shows in my opinion. Hawkeye and I think Moon Knight are like better, But still, this is really good. If you want to see like a ranking of all of the MCU shows, let me know, because I could do that. Yeah, so with that said, I think that's actually going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I post more awesome videos like this. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I'm kind of late to this whole like Miss Marvel and Thor Love and Thunder stuff. But yeah, I thought that Miss Marvel was better. It was a really good journey, and Thor Love and Thunder, it wasn't bad at all. I thought it was like probably, it's like a mid-tier MCU movie, which a mid-tier MCU movie is still a pretty good movie. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of both Thor Love and Thunder and Miss Marvel. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!